Hi, Dale.
Hi.
Hey, Jim. Okay, Matt. He probably has to go to the bathroom spare.
Hello, good evening.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, guys.
Hello, hey Teresa.
Hey, did I make it in time?
Yep,
Awesome.
Jeff's not on, so it's no, as long as you beat him, you're good.
I'll take that. I see Dale frowning into the camera.
Teresa, how you enjoying that high-speed internet? Oh, I'm sorry,
What?
Elizabeth, how you enjoying that high-speed internet?
It's a little bit fabulous. It's a whole nother world. I can see you all. Everybody's moving. I can hear everything.
There's no delay.
There's no delay. We should have done it months ago. And yeah, we've just been preoccupied. So all good. So in the 21st century, finally, it's a good thing.
Good for you.
Like the governor extended you can have Zoom meetings until April 16th. I don't know if that's good news or bad news.
That's next month. I
Yeah.
can't believe March is almost over. Not complaining.
Master
Hello,
Third.
can you hear me?
Yes.
You can?
Yes, we can hear you.
I've never Zoomed before. This is pretty cool.
Good work.
I hope he, oh, there he went. Melissa, can we text Jeff?
Yeah, I'm actually doing that right now.
Hello.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on? Trying to figure out my computer, having trouble hooking up with my my excellent high-speed internet out here on Creek Road. So. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. We have most people around here. What's going on? Let's see, who do we have? Elizabeth's here. Josh, Dale, Mike, Tom on.
I'm here.
Huh. Got Teresa around?
Yep.
Okay. Time is it now? Okay, I guess I'm late to the meeting here, but it's 7 o'clock and I hope everyone's tuned in here. So we're gonna 7:04, so I'm 4 minutes late, so get out 4 minutes early then. I would like to welcome everybody to the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board meeting for March 18th, 2021. I trust everyone wanting to get access to the agenda has access to the agenda. There's not a lot on the agenda tonight, but that doesn't mean there's nothing to talk about. The way our meetings have been going, I think I don't know if I introduced myself or not. I'm Jeff Schmidt, the chairperson of the board. The guidelines for the open forum, which is the first part of our meeting, is one presentation per individual. Please identify yourself by your name and address for the record. Presentation should not exceed 4 minutes. And any comments during the open forum should be limited to items that are not on the agenda. So with that said, I'll make a motion to open the open forum for the March 18th, 2021 meeting.
I'll second.
Jeff,
Yes.
Liz, Elizabeth,
You're on mute.
Thank you. Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and Mike.
Yes.
So the open forum is now available. Anyone who would like to make a comment can do so.
Lynn wants to speak.
Good evening, Lynn Bruning, 13388 Twinsburg Road. Please include my statement as read into the minutes in the official record of the meeting minutes as posted on the town website. I was reviewing the 2018 planning board minutes, and it shows that the time and date stamp on the web page is omitted, and the time and date stamp on the meeting minutes, the document PDF as posted on the town website, is also omitted. My review of the 2019 planning board minutes again shows that the time and date stamp on the web page is omitted, and the meeting minutes document PDF, it's omitted except for the May 16th, 2019 minutes. The November 21st, 2019 minutes have pages 1 through 3. And under open forum, it reflects that, quote, Lynn Bruning, located at 13388 Twinsburg Road, has some questions, comments, and concerns. Please see attachment. The attachment is omitted. This is most curious because on December 11th, 2019, I photographed the draft minutes as posted on the bulletin board at Town Hall. And these draft minutes contained my statement and supporting images. December 19th, 2019 minutes again reflect open forum, Lynn Bruning, questions and concerns. Please see attachment. The attachment is omitted. In 2020, again, the time and date stamp on the web page is omitted. And the time and date stamp on the meeting minutes document PDF begins in June 18th, 2020 meeting and continues through the December 17th, 2020 meeting. The December 17th minutes are stamped received February 1st, 2021. This is in excess of the 2 weeks as required by the New York State open meeting law. And January 16th, 2020 minutes, again under open forum, Lynn Bruning, questions and concerns, see the attachment. The attachment is omitted. February, the attachment's omitted. May 2020, the attachment is omitted. The planning board agendas as posted on the town website do include a time and date stamp. Why don't the minutes? Providing a time and date stamp on the meeting minutes permits residents to know if the town is abiding by New York State open meeting law. Failure to time and date stamp meeting minutes invites fraud. And in August 26, 2020, I submitted a letter to the town board documenting that the July 16, 2020 planning board minutes were found on the website at 11 a.m. on August 21st. And by 4 p.m., the document had changed. And there's no way to track these changes. Providing a time and date stamp would afford the taxpayers a measure of accountability, transparency, and equal access to all. Why is the town prohibiting the public from tracking changes in the planning board minutes? Why is the planning board omitting taxpayer statements from the record? And why is the planning board depriving the public from access to documents? Thank you for your assistance and consideration, and I'll submit my statement in writing to the clerk. Thanks and good night.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. We'll look into these details that you surfaced for us. I'm sure there was nothing intentional about this, but we'll deal with that in accordance with your comments. Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to participate in the public forum? Nothing heard to the contrary. I will make a motion to close the open forum for our March 18th, 2021 meeting.
Oh, second?
Jeff,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Tom,
Okay, moving forward to our agenda, we have one public hearing tonight and then some old business and one item under new business. Tonight's public hearing deals with an application for a special use permit from Spiro Kagas, the owner of the Ultimate Wishy-Wash Car and Truck Center. Before we open the public hearing, I'd like to just notify the public that we have additional information that was not available during the course of the previous meetings regarding the Wishy-Wash Car Center. Specifically, we have a letter from DEC dated December 22nd, 2020 to Mr. Kagas regarding the state elimination discharge survey permit, which is what normally called the Speedies permit. The letter, I don't know if we have it on the screen, but it will be made available to the public. We obtained it through the Freedom of Information Act. Basically, what it does is advises Mr. Spiro that the Department of Environmental Conservation has created what they call an EBPS, which is Environmental Benefit Priority Score for the facility, which is tabulated on their website. And basically what it does is it underscores the need for an intensive review of the wastewater discharge operation at that facility. And I can quote a few things from that letter. It's going to be made public, but the score was 234, which places it number 4 out of 235 facilities in Region 4 in a sense of priorities as to concerns to the DEC. All right, and also in part of that letter, I can read it directly. It says, in accordance with 6 NYCRR 750.210, please note your final Speedies permit must be issued before approval of any design-related documents that can occur and before any construction upgrades can begin. So there's some activity that wasn't disclosed during the course of our discussions, which started way back in September. I would give Mr. Kagas the benefit of discussing that with us. But what it does, it contemplates the addition of a third wash bay and additional what he calls effluent reclamation processes to be included there. Something the board, at least in my knowledge, was unaware of in the context of this current special use application. And so that I just wanted to make everybody aware of that. These documents are available, and DEC will be doing what they call an RFI, a request for information, which is a detailed assessment of the wastewater system at that facility. And we don't know what the results are, but the application from Mr. Kagas is due on March 31st of this year, 2021. Okay. With that being said, as some background, I'm going to make a motion to open the public hearing for the Spiro Kagas and the Ultimate Wishy-Wash Car Wash and Truck Center. And the application was for what we're going to coin as accessory parking for the facility. So with that, Mr. Kagas, if you could make an opening statement and show the public what you intend to do and where it's going to be. And
We'll second that, Jeff, before you proceed, right?
okay. Thank you.
Melissa, I think you're on mute this time.
Thanks. Jeff,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
approved. That's good.
Okay, that process is concluded. Spiro, if you'd like to describe what you're doing and what your vision really is for the entire site, because it came as kind of a surprise to me that you had these plans that you discussed with DEC and not the board. So let's put everything on the table now. Sparrow, you there?
I think he's on mute.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Spiro Kagis from the Witchy Watch. My proposal was for the accessory parking that I've already laid out the plan for that. Accessory parking is going to be for RVs, tractor trailers, to be able to have a place to park and wait to get in line to the wash bay, and to be able to have the flow of my regular car traffic to be able to get through much easier. There's been problems with vehicles turning around through the entrance and going out the other way due to the fact that there's not enough space there. As far as what I have going on with the DEC, yes, the big plan is to try to add on a third bay over there. But in order for me to be doing that, the DEC would like to see a reclaim done on my discharge pond there, which I have formally agreed with them that I would do that. And the wash there is already got a partial system already in place for the reclaim. As far as adding on the third bay, that's something that is going to be in the plan in the future, not right now. The accessory parking is really my main concern right now, to be able to, like I said, to park some of the bigger trucks and RVs so they can wait to get into the truck bay. And as far as the DEC is concerned, as far as me doing a reclaim system, I have agreed with them that I would do that probably sooner than later, just to get a head start on having that in place. So when the time comes, I'd like to add on the third bay over there. Now, as far as the discharge goes, anything with the DEC, all my numbers are in line as far as my tests goes. And I'm tested every 3 months over there for my water samples. So there's been no violations. The water's good. The turtles are in there. The muskrats are living. Everything is nice and healthy. And the bigger plan is to add on that third bay, which would be another truck bay, because you know, it gets, like I said, pretty backed up over there just with a couple of trucks. And I have a lot of frustrated customers that, you know, are living in the area here. And since this is the only car wash that's pretty close, you know, it becomes kind of frustrating to a lot of people when they can't get in. Thank you.
Okay, before anyone on the board has comments, we'd like to hear from the public. I know we did get a letter from the public. Don't know if that's entered into the record currently, but we did get a letter with many signatures on it, expressing some concerns. So if anyone from the public would like to, you know, state observations, concerns, anything up regarding the specific application, now's the time to do so.
Hey, Jeff, if I could jump in here. This is Patrick Wren at 9866 Western Turnpike.
Okay.
It's not clear to me from this map. He really didn't say, where is he going to put this parking?
Okay. Okay.
We
Pat,
already submitted.
Pat, we do have a pretty rough sketch, and I think as part of this process, as we move forward, we would want a little bit more detailed, but there is a rough sketch that was included in the current application. And we've gone through quite a few iterations since September on this. And at our last meeting, he did provide kind of a, you know, a sketch, basically, I would say.
Melissa, can you put the sketch up on the screen so people can, is that possible?
get Dale on the screen here. What's going on?
I think we can roughly describe it, Melissa, if you put that last one up. It's basically that brush area.
Yeah, there's a brush area just, I guess it would be to the north of Mr. Ren's property.
Put that original picture back up. Well, while she's doing that, it seems to be an echo now.
There it is.
Okay, but while she's putting that picture back up, I just wanted to say that letter that got submitted to the board, I hope all the board members got a copy of it. You'll notice that there are approximately 25 signatures on there from every property surrounding the Wishy-Wash, expressing concern and opposition to any more expansion to that, what's going on at the facility there until we get some more information. But the lot that I believe you've marked there where he wants to put the parking is right where the arrow is there, the upper right-hand corner there. And obviously that's right behind my property. And one of the concerns I have is that, and today was a great example of it because we got a lot of rain today. When we get a rainy day, water runs through the back of my yard like a stream down into the main ditch. And anything that gets put into the ground up there, whether it's out of a truck, diesel fuel, oil, grease, motorhome, anything that gets put on the ground up there is going to come right into my backyard. So obviously there's a concern there. So we're going to have to figure out how to deal with that. Also, anybody who's lived around here, and right now, I don't know how you're going to park a truck up there because it's going to sink 3 feet into the ground. If you're not planning on, if you're just going to throw some stone back there and try to park vehicles back there, because my backyard, I can barely mow the grass until Memorial Day because there's so much moisture coming off of that hill down through that field. So that's my first concern. And then the other concerns, obviously, we pointed out in that letter that we provided to the board. It just seems to me that until we get some more information from the DEC, and I would just like to see that we kind of suspend any expansion of this until we get some more information. And obviously the traffic flow is an issue with the trucks coming to a full stop on 20, trying to make that turn. I witnessed trucks doing that all day long. And then the final point I'll make, and I'll get off here, is, just to give a little perspective here, when we were talking about putting the Hannaford in down about a mile from here, and I was at the public hearings, and I'm sure Dale was too, there was discussion about how many tractor trailers were going to be coming in and out of that facility, and what kind of traffic that was going to create. And I know the Hannaford said they're going to have 1 tractor trailer delivery a day coming into that facility. And now a mile away, we've got a facility here that has an unlimited number of tractor trailers coming in and out of it every day. And I think until we get a little bit more information about this reclamation and what's going on, I just wanted a little perspective there. We were upset about having 1 tractor trailer coming through the Hannaford parking lot, and now we've got an unlimited number of trucks coming through this lot every day. So I just wanted to make sure that the board considers all those things before they make a decision on this. So I'll hand this off if there's anybody else who wants to say anything.
Okay, thanks,
And
Pat.
keep everybody safe too by doing washouts and cleaning tractor trailers. So that's why nobody gets sick.
Someone else want to comment, offer comments? Other?
My name is Kevin Susi. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Kevin.
I live at 10047 Western Turnpike, just down the road from Wishy-Wash on the other side of the road. I agree with Pat Wren. Many trucks going by every single day, both directions. They're stopping there. They're jackknifing. They're turning around. They're backing up. They're backing up traffic. I've personally seen many times where there's been almost rear endings. I've had to stop there and wait a good 3 to 4 minutes and wait to get into the parking lot. It's, wait to even go by. We don't need – 'more trucks, 18 wheelers in our area. We need less. That's my only opinion on the subject.
Okay. Okay. In regard to that, maybe, Mr. Kagas, could you comment on what you see as the daily capacity, assuming that the third bay is installed? Because we really need to look at the big picture here, not just piecemeal of this. But how many tractor trailers?
Yeah, I can comment on that.
Yeah.
As far as the entrance going into the car wash, it was widened up 3 years ago from the original entrance size, about another 15 more feet. So the trucks have been pulling in nice and easy now. As far as stopping and backing up, yes, that does occur here and there. It's not all the time. You know, I can't help that, but it does happen here and there. And that's why the entrance has been widened up over there. And as far as the trucks coming in over there, it's always been a truck wash over there. As far as many more trucks, probably not. I do a couple trucks a day, maybe 3 tops, even if that happens. But generally, I have a lot of RVs that are trying to come in there, travel trailers that are in tow, trying to pull inside there. So this is what the problem is as far as, you know, the wash itself. When somebody's in there washing, it takes generally 20 minutes. And if you get a couple of trailers pulling up right behind waiting to get in, like I said, it gets backed up over there. And that's why the third bay is something I'd like to add on over there. Is it going to increase it a little bit? Sure, it will. But like I said, it is a truck wash. It's always been a truck wash. The business has been there since 1977. I've done a lot of improvements over there. I've added blacktop in the front. As far as the back parking, what I'm looking to do, that's only to stop any problems with any extra traffic coming in. So if there's a couple of trailers that come in and there happens to be an RV in there and I have a car coming in, trying to come in and use the car bay, there's no room for them to get around or but to wait. So this is why the parking I'm looking to do in the back over there on my piece of commercial property is something, it's basically a waiting area just so people can pull in. And as far as Mr. Wren goes, I understand his concerns with any kind of water issues, but Cobleskill Stone is the one that's going to be doing the work over there. There will be 8 inches of crushed stone, and there will be also fabric applied on the surface too, to make sure that there's not going to be any issues. It is going to be under an acre over there, so as far as drainage goes, everything should be fine with that. It may even be, you know, half of that. I'm only going to be adding in as I see fit. Just enough space so I can at least get a few trucks inside there just to stay in a waiting area, or even people with, you know, like I said, with travel trailers. There's not much more that I could say is that all I know is before I took over the car wash in 2013, it was an eyesore over there. I've invested a lot of money to get it to look nice and get to be a business that's somewhat profitable. And for me to continue going forward, I need to add on that third bay over there so I can start regaining some of my investment over there. So regardless of tractor trailers coming in here, you know, 2, 3, 4, you know, I don't know, you know, but it's set up for a truck wash over there. It's always been set up that way. And like I said, the parking I'm trying to create is just try to create not any more chaos than I'm already going through right now with traffic getting backed up a little bit. I have the property there and I am going to make the investment and do it right and not just throw any stone down. I have Cobleskill Stone coming in. They're going to put the 8 inches of stone down. They're going to put the fabric and everything's going to be done right. Because the last thing I want to do is have any water issues or having any trucks get stuck back there. Thank you.
So just to clarify, is your position that the reason the traffic gets backed up because they don't have room to pull in, not because of any kind of turning radius or problems with the turn from the highway?
Correct. Turning radius. My turning radius over there is plenty wide enough. It's over wide enough.
So
I
why
did that over there just to be extra safe.
Why are trucks backing up then?
Sometimes the trucks are missing the entrance sign over there. Okay. The truck entrance sign,
They're coming
It is a
down.
decent size. I could make it bigger, but you know, they're coming downhill a little bit over there, so they kind of see it late. The backing up is not something that I encourage whatsoever. I do tell the trucks before they're coming in to be aware that the truck entrance sign is there. I have checkered flags out there, which I'm sure everybody has seen. That's to give them a heads up to where the turn needs to be. And like I said, I've already widened up the driveway over there by another 15 more feet. I got 35 feet to pull in over there, and it's plenty wide enough. But like I said, occasionally I will get a truck that I'll miss it and start backing up, and you know, unfortunately I can't control that, but I do try to call the trucker back and let him know, please don't do that. Go down the road. They either turn around at Hannaford and come right back up and then come back into the entrance. I do have entrance and exit signs right there. I have this problem with my normal cars coming in on the exit and not coming on the entrance because they don't want to go around the trucks. They don't want to wait in line. I have the same problem with them coming down through the entrance road. You know, I can't help stupidity when the signs are there, but all I can do is try to make things a little bit easier by having a staging area where I can at least park the trucks. They can wait for their turn to come in the bay. And this way there's not going to be any chaos with cars going back and forth the wrong direction.
Hey, Jeff, if I could just make a comment. This is Patrick Renningen. I've lived there for 31 years. Okay, so, and this was not, up until the past few years, cars were, it was strictly a car wash, and then trucks were coming in without the trailers attached to them to be washed off. But not until the past couple of years were they going up there to clean out the insides of these trailers. That's never been done before.
It's true. It's true.
That's new. So, and the other thing is, my concern too is, you know, we see trucks pulling in there at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if they pull in, I've seen them sit there for a while at 3 o'clock in the morning. So my concern is they pull in at 3 and then they back over into this lot back there and they sit there and they sleep in their cab or they wait for somebody to come over so they can wash their truck. There's just too many unanswered things. And I understand, hey, I respect Cobleskill Stone, but I would rather have DEC come in and do a study to find out what type of a surface needs to be put on there. Cobleskill Stone is not experts on water runoff and stuff like this. So I would rather have DEC have the final say on stuff like that before we allow something like that. But this cleaning out of the insides of the trucks is what got me concerned. And that's new. That's not something that was always done up there.
Well, that is a part of my business over there. And cleaning out the trucks is done with water. It's not even done with soap. And the fact of the matter is, I'm a 24-hour business over there. So you're going to get trucks coming in, of course, in the middle of the night. I get up in the middle of the night and I do the trucks. These trucks need to have their washouts. They're the ones delivering the food. They got to be out on the road. And I'm one of the only washouts here in the area serving this service to these trucks. I opened up this business in 2013, just exterior washing. I started doing the washouts a few years later because of the demand and because it needed to be done for these trucks. So that's why you see quite a few trucks coming with trailers, let alone they get exterior washing done on those trailers too. And this is all part of this business growing and doing what it's needed to do to actually fulfill the investment that's been going on over there over the years.
Spiro, I had just an observation. A while back, you said you only had about 3 trucks a day. Now,
I don't know. I could have 3 trucks a day, or I could have no trucks for 3 or 4 days.
but you're talking about staging areas for trucks. I mean, you have 50 trucks a day there sometimes?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
So when, okay.
No.
Do you have any- do you
It's
have-
but
do
we're
you have
getting
estimates
we're
based
getting
on
off we're
revenue?
getting off track. This is not just for trucks. This is for my RV trailers too. Okay, this is what we got to get past here a little bit. It may be just mainly RV trailers being over there. I have travel trailers that come in. I have mobile homes. I have a full service that I do for these mobile homes and for these trailers. For the older people that can't get out and watch their trailers, I'm there doing a full service for them.
Okay.
So I wash them by appointment. So this is why I'm trying to create this area where they can pull up, they can leave their travel trailer or wait with it while I get them in for their appointment for the day, instead of it being lined up inside the flow of traffic to get into the base.
Okay. Spiro, I was going to ask you, is in the presentation of this change of business strategy, has DEC been notified that you're washing out trucks? And is there any criteria that you have on which trucks you would or would not wash out?
Absolutely not. Well, yeah, there's a criteria. I don't wash out anything that's isn't, food grade. Anything that's got any kind of toxins, any kind of toxic with pneumatic trailers, anything like that, I do not do. That just doesn't happen. And like I said, my water is tested through DEC every 3 months. I'm under a microscope over there. So all my testing is
Last 7 years.
checked out and I have no violations whatsoever. So the DEC is very much aware of what I'm doing over there.
Okay.
And I've been in contact with Jamie Malcolm from Region 4 ever since I opened up the business over there. So he knows exactly what's going on. And as a matter of fact, the business, I'm allowed to discharge 600 gallons a day over there into my lagoon. And I don't even meet that half of that. The business doesn't do half of that discharge. I offered to do the reclaim system over there because I want to be able to recycle all the water, just in case if I have a problem with my back pond. That's just something that I want to do going forward, regardless whether I put a third bay or not.
Okay.
This staging with the park is to help me not to lose any business. So me doing this first is something where I'm hoping that I can get over the hump, get a little more extra money and revenue so I can add on that third bay. The third bay is something that, I'm working towards, but it may not come to fruition right away. But what will be happening is the reclaim system will definitely be in place. That way I'll be ready for the DEC because this is something that they're requesting to be done over there. And
Okay.
I've already spoke with Jamie Malcolm from the DEC, and me doing parking over there has no effects with the car wash whatsoever. They are fine with that.
So
Well, they could be fine with it, but the planning board is a different jurisdiction. And we're going to look at the entire site as a unit, since that's not a separate deed.
Of course.
Spiro, the one thing I want to tell you is that when you get a score on that DEC EBPS score as the number 4 concern in a 9-county jurisdiction, you may be underestimating what it's going to cost you to fix that system. Okay. I don't think it's going to be cheap. And what my observation might be to you is I would rather have you spend the money fixing your wastewater system than to spend $60,000 on a parking lot. That once you get that done, you may, the Speedies permit, you don't know what's up in the air for that. But when you get a request for information, they're going to look at that in very, very much detail. And that lagoon, to me, would be a source of potential liability for you as far as, you're just not going to simply have that thing discharging into the groundwater with all this truck washout in it. There's no treatment. So I think, when the planning board looks at it, we're going to have to balance our decisions based on where you're best spending your money, perhaps. It's your business decision, but to spend 60 grand on that parking lot when you could be looking at $100,000 Speedies upgrade.
Hey, Jeff, we're getting way off base here. He's asking for something. We have no right to be
we
telling him
are
how
getting
to
off
spend his money.
base.
Well, I'm thinking that it's one site, okay? And that I don't like to see the thing done in piecemeal, and
We might have to do that.
The stages that I'm doing it is, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
But, I have no intention of dropping the whole $60,000, okay, in the parking over there. I'm only going to go a section at a time right now. Okay. For starters. And second, like I said, I'm already working with the DEC, what I plan on doing for my review and doing the reclaim system over there. So I already know how much needs to be spent and what I got to do over there.
Okay.
This is just for, it's,
Hey,
I
Jeff,
don't know why this got so as complicated as it did.
It's not
Okay.
complicated. It's not complicated at all. It's just that
It's just some overflow parking over there. That's all it is.
Okay.
So
Well, if we're gonna-
if
Go
I
ahead.
could interject, I'm looking at the questions that some of the people had who live around it, and I think some of those questions, Dale, we can answer. So the one question was, is the property where the overflow parking is proposed to be, is that zoned commercial? Dale?
Yes,
Okay. Is it zoned C1 or C2?
C1.
C1, okay. And the other question that somebody had was,
I'm waiting to ask the question.
what was the other one? It was the zoning. Borders agricultural fields. Oh, does it meet the setbacks requirements for the adjoining properties? Dale?
The setbacks will be 80 front, 40 side, 80 rear.
Okay, so in between the properties that front on 20 and the proposed overflow parking, is that 80 feet or is that 40 feet?
From behind Patrick Ren's will be 80 feet,
Okay,
and then 40 would be on the west or east side and the east side, excuse me, and then 80 in the rear,
okay,
the
All right.
back.
80 in the rear. Okay, so that was just two questions that were on the list that I just wanted to make sure everybody knew. The overflow parking is going on commercially zoned property, and it does meet all the setbacks in the commercial zone.
Thanks, Teresa. Is that your list or?
No, that wasn't my list. I was
No.
looking
Right.
at the list that the people had. And
Right.
I guess the other question they had is, how are you going to handle, Mr. Coggis, how are you going to handle abandoned vehicles or people who try to overnight park, even though you're not wanting them to? Will you be there to see when this happens so that you can kind of police it?
Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, nothing will be abandoned. It'll be towed right away out of there.
Okay.
Besides, these big companies and outfits, they're not going to want their truck, to be abandoned or be staying over there. They're going to be in and they're going to be out.
Right. Mr. Coggis had originally asked for the ability to use the lot for storage, and he understands that storage is not allowed on that property within that zone, right, Mr. Coggis?
Correct. That was what I was originally going for.
Okay, all right. And there was a question about neon lights and music playing 24/7 as a concern of people who lived around it. So, is there something that you can do to maybe turn the music off at night?
Yes. I mean, I had it turned off for a while at night, and sometimes it's left going on there. But I can, yes, I can turn it. I've had a few neighbors have already had said something to me in the past about that, and that's fine. I can do that. I do have a neon light that says open. I didn't realize that, that was something that was bothering the neighbors.
Okay, yeah,
It's just a small open neon light.
Okay.
Because I'm open 24 hours, so that's why it says open.
All right, but I think definitely it sounds like people would appreciate it if you set the music on a timer, maybe, so it goes off at a certain time and comes on at a certain time, and
Yes.
then you won't have to. It's kind of like with the Hannaford, they did that with the lights.
I can do that.
Okay. All right, and so everybody had some questions about what type of materials are being washed out of the trailers. And I think I heard you say you only wash out trailers hauling food grade materials. Is that
Yep.
it?
Yep, reefer trailers, food grade. I use hot water. That's all that's allowed.
And that's different from the cars because when I go up there, I use soap.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So there's no soap in the truck bay?
There's soap in the truck bay, but the trailer washouts get done by me personally. That's the only way they can get done.
Okay.
Is the food grade criteria, is that based on your permitting or is that your personal preference, or how is that defined?
The food grade is is on my preference of the trailers that I do inside there.
Okay, so that's not a contingency in your permitting or anything.
No,
Okay,
I'm a truck wash over there, so I'm allowed to wash, but that's up to me whether I, what I choose to wash inside there. Like I said, my water's tested to the DEC every 3 months, so I'm very, very careful about what's going down the drains over there. If I get into a violation, then, I get in trouble over there and it's got to get corrected.
yep.
And that's why I do everything personally over there as far as the truck washing goes. And anybody that comes to my wash sees it on there every day, doing everything myself personally inside there. So this is something that I take with a lot. I'm very, very cautious. That's all I can tell you. I'm very, very cautious with that. That's something I don't want to fool with.
Okay.
Another
you.
comment that people had was that the car wash has been vandalized several times over the past year.
Well, no, it's only been vandalized once.
Okay.
And that was a couple of young boys that lived across the street. But, I worked that out with the parents. They came and did some work for me over there. I didn't get the authorities involved. I'm sure, the bombs all remember.
Okay, so that was just one isolated incident, basically.
Yes, it was. Yes.
All right.
I've been very fortunate that I haven't had any of that happening. Most people respect the car wash when they come in, obviously, because it's really the only car wash that's local here in the area, and they want to make sure that things go nice with it and it stays in operation.
The woman in the, I think, Cape Cod gray sweatshirt has her hand up for quite a while. Want to see what question you had?
Hi, my name is Cecilia Baum. My husband and I live directly across from the car wash. Spiro, you had mentioned that trucks are to be going in and out, and I have seen trucks that have been overnight there. So just trying to find out what the discrepancy is.
Well, the overnight usually entails in 8 hours, and I do not have trucks over there for 8 hours. If they're waiting 3 or 4 hours for their appointment or 5 hours, and I'm there to do that.
Because the truck was parked as though he were to exit the driveway, but he was
Correct.
parked, and if he's a refrigerated trucker, the refrigeration was running. And during the summer, when the windows are open, it is able to be heard.
I tend to tell the truckers to keep the refrigeration shut off. Normally when they're like that waiting, they have an empty load inside there, and they do not run the refrigeration because there's nothing inside there. I get nothing but empty trailers that come in to get cleaned. So there's nothing that's in there with any food or anything like that being refrigerated. It's not a truck stop there. It's just simply a wash.
So there should be no trucks overnight then going forward.
Correct.
That's all I had.
So
Thank you,
let's
Cecilia.
refocus on the field where we're gonna park the vehicles. I just want to point out to the right of that field is a field that gets hayed and baled every year, and that grass that comes out of that field feeds livestock. All right. So again, my main concern is the runoff from these fields, and I can tell you for 30 years, everything that gets dropped into that field runs through my backyard. So I appreciate everything everybody's saying about what they're going to do, but I want some guarantees that anything that gets dripped or poured or spilled in that back parking lot is not going to end up running through my backyard, because I have a well, groundwater. Everybody around you has wells and groundwater. And all it takes is one spill, one accident to create a problem. So I appreciate the fact that, you'll only wash out certain trucks. And I really think this should be up to the DEC. There should be an environmental study done on what's going to happen with anything that runs off of that back lot into the other properties. And I would hope that, the fact that we've got every single neighbor on every side of you concerned and opposed to the expansion into that lot, that the planning board will take that into consideration as we move forward with this. But I think we've still got some unanswered questions from the DEC that we have to look at.
Patrick, I understand your concern. But like I said, the DEC was already notified about this, and I had spoke with them, and he did not have a problem with that. It wasn't going to affect the wash, and neither did he have any problems with, overflow parking being over there. And
I was never contacted by anybody from the DEC. Nobody came into my yard or asked me or checked any runoff that comes into my yard. So I'm just telling you that I think we're going to have to get this checked out before we approve anything like this, because I've lived there for 31 years. And I can tell you, everything comes running down through the back of my yard. And, you can put 8 inches of stone, 10 inches of stone, something gets spilled back there, it's going into the ground. And so I need some more guarantees or some more security, knowing that my property is going to be protected here by this expansion. I understand it's commercial, but the planning board's responsibility is to protect the residents who live around these commercial properties. And I think that all this has to be taken into consideration. And, and I also am not comfortable with, if somebody pulls in there at 3 o'clock in the morning, like Cece said, and now realize, oh, I got a parking lot there that I can park in and sleep overnight until, somebody comes to clean me out. I think you're just inviting people to be able to park their trucks and the drivers can just take a break because they have to get off the road before their time expires. I think you're just you're inviting a situation where you're going to have a lot more vehicles wanting to stay back there as a place to park their truck. Like I said, there's just a lot of concerns here that we need to take into consideration for all the area around this. It's not just your property, it's everybody around it too.
Is a SWIP required for this site?
No, but they do have to comply with the stormwater design manual, DC stormwater design manual. So they will have to implement all the appropriate soil and erosion control measures, temporary soil erosion control measures, but it is less than 1 acre. So no permanent controls are required. So no formal stormwater pollution prevention plan is necessary.
Well, to address the concern with runoff to Mr. Wren's property, should we be looking at some sort of a swell or a drainage that diverts the runoff off the parking lot to a contained area? Do we have that ability to say something like that?
there's already there's already a swell in place over there, and that runs off.
From the new proposed parking area?
No, it's already pre-existing. The swell is already pre-existing there, and it
The
runs
swell-
all. Yes, it runs all the way. It runs all the way down the driveway.
Listen, I can send you pictures. I took pictures today because it rained all day. There is a river running through the back of my yard and it's all coming from that field. So there's no diversion up there, diverting that water out of that field to the side. It just doesn't exist. And I've got photographs I can send you. I just took them today. We had a rain today. My backyard is flooded from that upper field.
And I can do some diversion to make sure that there isn't any more over there. That's not a problem. But there is a swale, and the water runs off. It runs down, and it's been like that for many, many years.
And just to clarify, Mr. Kagas, you mentioned there's a swale along the driveway. So is that running north to south? Because I think the concern that Mr. Wren has maybe a swale that runs east to west, so kind of abutting the back line of his property.
Correct.
I just want to clarify that.
Yes, and I would do a natural swell to connect to that.
Okay, so
I'm
you're
sorry,
proposing,
I thought he was talking about the swale that's currently right there.
right, I'm just, yeah, and I'm just trying to clarify it. And Mr. Wren, I'm assuming your concern is certainly with the back line of your property, certainly your entire property, but I think what you're implying is that the runoff is coming from upgrade, so, and it's coming down the back of your property. So it's coming from the north, running north to south.
That's correct.
Okay.
And if you look at Mr. Wren's property, off the survey that I have and the pins I have, he's been mowing, actually, the property that he's been mowing, he's already encroached onto my property line a few feet over there. So I understand he's saying that it gets wet back there, but my proposal with doing the parking area, I have X amount of feet even further away from where he's already been mowing. And we've already had conversation of that in the past about him encroaching on the property line over there. Because I had told him before, when I want to do the storage over there, that I would create enough of a buffer to make sure that wasn't going to affect him over there. And he had said to me that that would be fine.
Spiro, the one concept that we've used a lot is the, run on and run off control. And run on would typically be a diversion trench to the northernmost section of that site. So then any water coming, that hill runs a long ways up, that you would intercept that before it even got to your parking area. So that would perhaps allay some of Mr. Wren's concerns, because the only contributory precipitation would be from the lot itself, which would be, I think you sketched it out at less than 1 acre. But that upgrading water, there's a lot of catchment area above that. And that's going to percolate right down through your whole, there's no way to do it unless you actually construct a diversion trench and control it that way. And that may allay some of Mr. Wren's concerns.
Yes, and I would definitely do a trench over there to divert any excess water. That would be automatic for me.
Okay. I mean, one of the things that the board currently has is simply a sketch with no topographic information or any details on the design. So, I mean, as we progress through this process, we're gonna need, I believe, a lot more details on.
I can do that.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll just bring an architect in, okay, and I'll get something more detailed. That way, Mr. Wren is more comfortable with that. And also, like I said, it's under 1 acre. So, that's why I didn't think I had to go through that expense of doing that. But, I can do that. And that way, Mr. Wren can see the layout and making sure that, there's no water coming onto his property. He does know that, I've tried to be good neighbors with him and making sure, that everybody's happy around me.
Okay.
I
Hey,
think
Jeff.
on that site plan, showing the setback requirements for the C1 zoning is going to be key also. So we can see how this, the parking fits in that remaining space.
That would be fine. Like I said, I'll have an architect draw up something more specific. Like I said, I didn't think that this was going to be such an issue with parking, just having some additional parking over there. It is a commercial piece of property, and I can, Mr. Wren seems like he's got the most concern about the water, and I'll get something done for him, and that way he sees it, and that way he feels comfortable about that.
Hey, Jeff,
Yes.
obviously you got that letter that was signed by 25 people that are within a quarter of a mile from Wishy Wash Car Wash. I'm one of them, of course. I just feel that additional parking in the back is going to increase the truck traffic an incredible amount. As far as the respect for the neighbors of Wishy Wash, Mr. Kagas has never showed us much respect. We asked him 2 to 2.5 years ago if he could shut the music off at night. He never did. I believe if that parking lot goes in, there'll be trucks there overnight, refrigeration running. Never really had much respect for the neighbors and the noise and the things that we've had to deal with as far as trouble, traffic on Route 20 and whatnot, and blocking with the trucks and stuff. So I'm saying there really hasn't been a good neighborly relationship going on.
We did turn the music on.
Bert, I had one other question, and this was brought up at our last meeting about screening of that parking lot from contiguous properties, even though you're in a commercial zone. The zoning laws in the town, they talk about screening even when commercial property is near other commercial property that may be residentially developed. Could you address how you're gonna, screen that line between your property and Mr. Wren's property so you actually could never see what's back there?
Well, I'm gonna leave as much of a buffer as possible between the properties. And as far as screening goes, like I said, I'm a 24-hour business over there, so I have cameras up, I see everything. So if I see anything going on where, it's not safe or they're staying there for too long, then they're gonna be out of there. That's all there is to it. I don't want anybody staying there any longer than I have to.
I think the point I'm making is I don't have the zoning regulations in front of me, but they talk about visual screening so that if the neighbor looked out his back window, he's not going to see 15 RVs parked back there. I mean, is there some sort of attempt to put either plantings in? We've gone through this with some solar projects in the town where we acquiesced to some of the neighboring concerns where we planted rows and rows of evergreens so that they would be screened from it. And if there's a parking lot back there and the landowner has to look at tractor trailer trucks, that's a different twist than different view than he currently has. So have you done visual analysis to say, if I stand here and I put a tractor trailer, can that resident, is he going to be looking at that for until he moves? And if that's the case, then I think you should look into some sort of, plantings there to assure that the screening is there to protect the resident that's currently there, even though you're in a commercial zone. I think if you look at the wording of the
I can do plantings. I can leave the natural, trees that are over there because there is, there are trees already over there. And I can, also I could put up a privacy fence too, if that would be, better for Mr. Wren.
I was unaware of the screening requirement, Jeff. I would just as soon have a screening on the north-south side, because when the trucks pull in on that dirt road, the dirt that gets kicked up and blown into my yard onto my back deck is terrible. So if you're going to put a screening or fencing anywhere, I would prefer to have it on the northwest side and just some shrubs, some greenery in the back to block, so I don't have to look at those trucks back there. But the north-south side is worse because all the dirt that gets kicked up on that dirt road goes right into my yard onto my deck.
Well, and that's what I'm working towards, Mr. Wren, is to try to, grow the business so I could put blacktop over there, just like I put blacktop on the exit road which never had blacktop all those years. So I can imagine how much dust was blowing back then too.
Jeff, I'd like to make a couple of comments here. I've been sitting here listening to this whole conversation go back and forth. I understand the residents on Route 20 have a problem with trucks going by and trucks there. You live on Route 20. There's trucks that go by all day long there. And to say that one truck pulling into a driveway is going to be a major upsetting of your day. Come on, you live there and you have trucks driving by all day. And you talk about water running down your yard. If you buy land at the bottom of a hill, does water run off the hill? It always runs off the hill. And you all know that. So you got to be reasonable what you're complaining about here, guys. And I'm just trying to talk some common sense to everybody that's listening. Thank you.
With all due respect.
Thank you very much.
With all due respect, Mr. Rullison, and I do respect you. The reason I know I live at the bottom of the hill and that water's been running through my backyard for 30 years, but there's never been trucks parked behind my yard either, leaking diesel, oil, and grease. Thank you.
They're not going to be there that long. How are they
Hi,
gonna-
this is Lynn Bruning on Twinsburg Road. And what I'm hearing are a lot of good intentions and an absence of regulations and permitting. And if this project were to move forward, is there a way to place restrictions of which will protect the neighboring and abutting properties from the noise, pollution, and stormwater runoff. Additionally, when you speak of screening for a project, it's not just looking out of your kitchen window, it's your entire parcel. Because whatever goes in abutting to your property impacts the abutting property owner's ability to develop, enjoy, and use the entire parcel. So please do not just limit screening to the look outside of someone's kitchen window. Thanks.
Thanks, Lynn. Lynn, I'd like to just point out something on our zoning regulations, that the screening and landscaping is really applicable to parking areas. We don't really have a mention in there for access roads at this point. So that'd be something that hopefully we can, maybe Sparrow can do something to mitigate the dust, but that is 13.2.4 on screening in our zoning regulations, which talks about parking areas, and that's why I brought that issue up. And I'll read it directly. It says, sufficient screening shall be provided to obscure the parking space from residential parking. And that applies to even residentially developed areas in a commercial zone. So that's something that I think we really need to address, you know. Sparrow, I would invite you to maybe go up there and take some photographs from Pat's house, Pat's property and your property, to show that if you put a truck up there, you know, his view shed is more or less obscured from your activity.
That would be fine.
Okay.
And I have no problems adding plantings in.
Okay.
Some fast growing pines. I don't have a problem doing that.
Okay.
And I would like Pat to be happy. Like I said, he's right next door to me over there. And if some plantings in and creating a buffer more, I can do that.
Okay. You know, Sparrow, our role here is to you know, as the town's comprehensive plan would describe, is to encourage commercial activity in the town, but yet be respectful of the contiguous neighbors and properties. So the more you can do to be you know, to take some of these ideas into consideration is going to really help you in the long run. I'll reiterate this again. I'm very concerned with the potential expense you may incur with DEC, because that RFI is a very intense project, and you know, it takes a lot of quarters to pay off, you know, huge improvements in wastewater treatment technology. So just
and like I said, I've already been in contact with the DEC, and I have a plan and set on there, you know, for the reclaim, and you know, everything should be, you know, pretty good with that.
I'd be very careful, because your application is due on March 31st, so they really haven't taken a deep look at that currently. But that's just a, you know, just a word for you. So
thank you.
Okay.
So Jeff, is there anybody else who wants to speak?
I guess we'll ask. Does anybody else want to make a statement in addition to what Kevin and Patrick and said?
If I may, I would just advise you to keep the public hearing open to give Mr. Kagas time to submit the additional information that's been requested. That way people have time to comment on it. So.
Okay. All right, Teresa, I think that's an excellent idea. At this point, I'd make a motion to table any further activity on this project until such time as Mr. Kagas gives us additional information regarding the runoff control, screening, perhaps an estimate of traffic flow in and out of the facility, and also with a business plan that might include the development of that third bay and how that's going to impact the overall, you know, parking and traffic through that facility, because that is on the table. It's been disclosed to DEC. So I think in all respect for the neighbors and in the community, think that's a fair request.
Jeff, just be sure and amend your motion to continue the public hearing as open.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, and I further recommend that the public hearing will remain open until our next meeting, at which time we'll make further decisions. Our next meeting is the third Thursday in April, which I don't have a particular.
April 15th.
15th? Okay, tax day. So the motion is to continue the public hearing. It remains open. Public comments will be entertained at least until the next meeting on April 15th, at which time I think Mr. Kagos will have some more information. We may have more information from DEC at that point to help kind of buttress this whole argument of what the costs are and if it's really going to be, something that we need to consider. And that's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right, Jeff,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
In the interim, Mr. Kagos, I think you could be working on the engineering aspects of that parking area to do the topo and address all those concerns as part of this. interim.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Hearing nothing else, I'll make a motion to close the hearing for tonight under with the notice that it's being continued for next.
I
April.
think you already made that motion,
That's
Jeff.
good
You're all
enough.
set.
All set? Okay.
All set, yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Our next topic is under old business. The Cassell Group located at 1485 Mariah Bill Scotch Road. I think we have some additional information from Mr. Cassell, and maybe you can update us on how you're proceeding with your dealings with I guess it's the health department or whatever it is on there. And,
Oh, well, the health department is quite a story. But, they're a fun bunch, but to take care of the town, I believe we gave to Melissa a couple forms. One was the size of the septic system.
Yep.
So you guys should have that. Schenectady County ARC did an upgrade a while back to the septic system. So you guys should have those forms in front of you.
Okay, great.
What they did. And also a test as to if there was any coliform
Yeah.
in the water.
Yeah, that was negative, right?
That was negative.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we wanted to satisfy the town and give them what they wanted with that. The Department of Health is a different story. So we first submitted an application to them. It came back. They basically kicked it back to us based on two reasons. One was the fact that myself, who I put down as the operator, didn't meet the character and competency requirements. That sounds pretty bad, but
No, you want to hang up right now?
yeah, I thought I was competent, but obviously I'm not.
Well, you're a character for this, for sure.
And then the other reason was they wanted an architectural stamp on the application.
Okay.
So what I did was I consulted with an attorney who does this. Her name is Lori Sievers. She's an assisted living attorney. And she basically is kind of coaching me through the process, the application process. So
Okay.
since that time, we were able to secure a competent operator, for one, Okay, someone who has been an executive director, someone who kind of knows the business a little bit. And then we were also able to get a hold of an architectural firm called Synthesis out of Schenectady, who originally drew up the plans for this building back in the early 90s.
Okay.
So they're working on it. They're working on putting the stamps on, wherever they have to on the application.
Okay.
And we're also working on drafting up paperwork with this new operator to put her now back on the application.
Okay.
So it's come to find out, this is probably, and I wasn't too happy to hear this, but it is what it is. The Department of Health is so backed up from the year 2021 or 2020, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's going to take about a year, they said,
Oh,
for this to go through.
wow.
But we're willing to go through the process, whatever it takes.
Okay.
So that's its own issue right there. But whatever they ask of us, we're doing.
Okay.
Once we get through the approval phase, I'm pretty sure that they'll be sure that we're competent and that we have all the approvals needed.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so we're talking several, well, it's not about a year from now, but that's, hopefully it wouldn't take that long, but I don't, from the board's perspective, I'm not sure you satisfied anything we've asked for at this point. Teresa, you think of anything else that we would potentially need?
I was on mute. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, that's all right.
I noticed the alternative sewage disposal system was approved in 2002. Is the Department of Health going to ask you to have that inspected just to make sure it's still functioning, or?
Knowing the Department of Health, yes. They had us, of course, well, you guys wanted the water samples.
Yeah.
Right.
So what ARC did is they sent a crew out there, their maintenance crew, and they got the whole water system going again. And they put chlorine in the system because they have some sort of treatment down in the basement there with big tanks and jugs of chlorine.
Yeah.
So they got all that going. And so I'm assuming that when it comes to the septic system, that somehow the department will probably want some sort of test, I'm thinking.
So is that, are they chlorinating the drinking water or are they chlorinating the effluent?
It would be the drinking water.
Oh, the drinking water.
Okay, so, and the building is currently unoccupied?
Yes.
Okay. I just wonder what coliform would be in an unoccupied septic system. How long has it been vacant?
It's been vacant probably about a year.
Yeah.
But what they did is they started up the whole system again. They ran it for a couple days. And then they tested the water. I believe the test said that they tested it at the kitchen faucet, kitchen sink.
Yeah, so you wouldn't expect to see, coliform at the sink, especially if it's being chlorinated. I wonder, does that satisfy the Department of Health for the adequate treatment of the wastewater?
I think we're talking two different things, Josh. The waste system is a septic system, so there's no treatment. It's a septic system. It goes septic and goes to a leach field.
Yes, I guess, were we questioning the quality of the drinking water, or we were questioning the adequacy of the wastewater system?
I heard Teresa asked about the septic.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that was a separate question, Josh. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
It was a separate question because the documentation that Mr. Casal gave us was from 2002, which was when they I assume, built the septic system. So my only question was, will somebody inspect it since it, I don't think it matters that it hasn't been in operation, unlike water. But I don't know anything. Dale, do you go and look at septic systems like this, or?
Well, they will have to have a design professional, their engineer or architect will do that with Schenectady County.
Okay, all right.
And I do know these guys maintain this property, and they probably have a record of how many times they had to pump out, once or twice a year, how they had to pump out the actual tank. So we can always get those records, show them to anyone who wants them, but they've been doing ARC is incredible at what they do there. At least I've noticed.
They do a good job. Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, Jeff, what additional information the board might want. You can always at any point issue your approval conditioned on them getting all the appropriate approvals from the Department of Health and everywhere else. I mean, I guess I would suggest, because I think it would be helpful for this applicant, that we put a formal resolution together, so that you guys then, once you make the decision, it'll be memorialized, and it's something that can go to the Department of Health to show that it's consistent with local zoning. So if that's something you'd like me to do for next time, we can do that. I don't think we've opened a public hearing on this one, though, have we?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
No. So, and Liz, did you advise us on what seeker category this one would be?
Yes, we said it'd be a seeker type 2 because it's a similar use. There's no construction. So based on the seeker requirements, we categorized it as a seeker type 2.
Yeah, I mean, you're using it essentially as it was used before. So,
Right.
So you all could, if you feel you have enough information, you could schedule the public hearing for next month on the special use permit.
Does anyone on the board have any issues at all? I personally don't. For once.
Nope.
No.
Okay. How about Mike? Why don't you make a motion?
Yeah, I make a motion to schedule the public hearing for the Casal Group on April 15th, 2021.
I'll second that.
Michael,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Mr. Casal, if you do get your application into the Department of Health before the next public hearing, it would be great if there could be a copy of the non-personal information on file with the town. Please don't give us any personal information.
I remember us talking a little bit about this, and
Yeah.
because it was kicked back, I'm thinking, well, let me get it right. Let me get the department to at least say, okay, we see it, it looks good, and then you'll have access to it. I might cross out a couple personal things, but it's
Okay.
you
Yeah.
definitely, I definitely have it on my list to get it to you guys.
Okay, great.
And Teresa, in the interim, can you draft the resolution for us then, or?
Yeah, absolutely. No
Okay,
problem.
we will have that available in the hearing then? So,
Yes, you will.
excellent. Okay.
Yep.
All right, great. Daryl, we wish you luck.
Well, thank you. You guys were easy. It's
You get
the,
fed up there.
no, I appreciate working with you guys. So,
Okay, well, thank you very much. And good person to work with, so.
All
See
right.
you again. We
All
make
right, see you
a
next
a lot of people here because you come back every meeting for a year and then that's it, you know? Okay, well, thanks again.
all right,
Thanks.
thank you.
Okay. Here's the agenda. What's next on the agenda here? I lost one.
Mr. Blackstone.
Mr. Blackstone, Paul Giamatti.
Good evening.
Oh, man, I guess we got different lots this time. Okay.
It's just a larger version of what was submitted last time to
Okay.
provide more space to add details that were necessary to give some clarity.
Okay. Okay.
I have added the setbacks, clearly identifying the shed being in conformance
Okay.
with the side and rear yard setbacks. I've added on the left lot, I added the 200-foot width line that would provide sort of a building envelope significantly smaller than just the setbacks would provide, because it needs to be 200 feet wide in the area of a proposed residential structure.
Okay.
I'm not sure if a accessory structure like a shed or garage or something can be built behind the 200-foot width, but complying with the side yard setbacks, but that's an issue that can be dealt with at a later point in time. I can get some feedback from Dale with regard to that. What additionally has been shown, obviously, is the proposed house area, septic area, and driveways to identify that the SWIP 1 acre threshold won't be crossed. I'll have to provide square footage along with the SWIP note to identify the amount of area shown being under that 1 acre area. Let's see, I've submitted an EAF. Dale emailed me back and needed it to be amended to reflect a couple of finer points that I will deal with that and send that on its way. I've shown the existing well on the existing house lot. I need a little bit more detail from the applicant relative to the location of the septic system, but it's clearly off to the east of the house. But even front or back is something I need to clarify to be able to add that to the map. But we seem to have sufficient detail here to clearly identify a couple houses in here available to be constructed in compliance with all the zoning restrictions. The only thing I did not get a chance to do, which needs to also be added in addition to the notes, would be site distances relative to proposed driveway areas. I need to get up there. Whenever I tried to get up there, seemed as though the weather did not want to cooperate, but we're on the cusp of a new weather pattern, I hope. So allow me to get up there certainly next week to be able to add that to the map and resubmit.
Melissa, the map that we're looking at doesn't, the one I'm looking at doesn't really have the houses, the proposed building and septic and well locations on it. Is there another map?
Yeah, so I don't have an 11 by 17.
Okay, okay.
So I couldn't get one on, but in the binders, there
Yeah,
are the big
okay,
maps.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna look into this. I'm like,
Yeah, this is the old one. I didn't have.
okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. My fault. I should be looking in my.
Listen, it's my fault too. I didn't look at my email that requested a PDF to be sent over. And so it's my oversight.
That's all right.
I'll take the hit on that.
It's okay.
All right, as long as you got enough room on that, that lot number 1 is kind of a.
Yeah, there's ample space to accommodate a house without any problem. I basically set back a little farther than the 80 foot so that it would be in alignment with the existing residence. So there's ample space there to accommodate it. That would be the lot
Okay.
that the applicant would be proposing to save for himself or
Okay.
his daughter anyway. So he's aware of the restrictive aspect of the 200-foot width and that.
Yeah,
But
I was kind of thinking he might want to, he's probably going to keep that for himself because of just the geometry of it, but.
Yeah, yes, yeah, it's a little peculiar.
We've seen other ones that are even worse.
Well, yeah, you think the world was flat and square, but apparently we're all wrong.
Yeah. Thank God for the
How
traffic.
many, I'm sorry, Jeff, how many acres are these lots? That's the one thing. I was too lazy to try to calculate them, given the shapes.
Let me give you the breakdown. The lot to the west, the irregular shape one, is 100,954 square feet. The existing residence lot would total 104,950 square feet. And the remaining large lot would be a little more than 7.8 acres.
Okay, so 100,954, is that 2.3 acres? Who's got a calculator?
Yeah, a little more.
43,000, okay,
Yeah.
100,000 is 2.3 acres.
thank you.
Right. The magic number is 100, so we are almost 1,000 over it. Yeah.
Good. All right, that sounds good.
Dale, what is the setback requirements for the well? I know it's 100 feet from the septic, and then is there side yard setbacks?
10 feet from the property line.
Okay. So the well for that lot 1 would end up having to be behind that house.
Correct.
It'd be
Okay.
upgraded to the septic for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most logical place would be behind the house, and it's always good to have your septic
Downhill.
Yeah.
Flows downhill.
Because we learned from the first item on the agenda that water goes downhill.
Okay, so next steps.
I think, go ahead.
I just had a seeker question. Thank you. And Dale, you might have already asked this because I didn't have a chance to look at it on the DEC mapper. So Dale, you asked for a couple clarifying points. Was one of those with regard to historic resources, wondering?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And there's a corridor, and there's also the northern long-eared bats.
Typically, the
Thank
bats are more in a. I ran into them Altamont in the escarpment. They're typically have with more of a vertical rock kind of setup. That's where is a more ideal setting, but not to say that they couldn't find a place to live here. But I'll address those details so that we can get that information back to you. But I don't think we're in close proximity. There are, they got the octagonal house that way. That's probably something. And there may be a very old farmhouse farther west on McGuire School Road. There's a few in there, but nothing close to us, but I'll provide a separation distance. I've got some mapping of houses from 1866 and show where a separation distance from where they are in relation to this, but they're not in close proximity. But it does have a nice historical corridor because every so often there are some very old houses, but none in close proximity to this.
So I'm a little confused. Is this a type 1 action because
Yes,
of the historical? That's
Yeah.
it? Okay.
I'll dig some details and put it together to address that.
Elizabeth, can you give us the seeker next steps? What we have to do now, if it's a type 1?
Sure, but I had one more question. Sorry. Yeah, and I was just curious, Mark, I don't know if you've used the DEC mapper when you do your seeker review, but that'll also pull up any archaeologically sensitive areas. So that's something we might want to, and that's all right on the website.
yeah,
Yes.
I took that
Okay.
off.
Perfect. Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Mark. And sure, and Jeff, with that, I can go to seeker next steps. I think what we need to do next at this point is just declare ourselves as lead agency, so I can make that motion.
Okay.
I would declare the Dwaynesburg Planning Board seeker lead agency for the Gemetti subdivision, and we're characterizing this as a seeker type 1 action. So I'll make that motion.
Second that.
Liz,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
and Mike.
Mike, yes.
And Melissa, unless Tom and I spoke at the same time, I think that was me that seconded it, unless Tom did at the same time.
Tom, did you second at the same time or no?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. I'll just- Okay. Mike. All right, so Tom, I'll put you last. Tom,
Yes.
okay.
Just one question. So usually for a type 1 action, you have to coordinate the review. And I noticed it just says only the Dwaynesburg Planning Board has any approvals for this project. Is there any other involved agency that we can think of, like OPRHP and DEC with respect to the BADs? I mean, would we want to send those notices out?
Yeah, is that a county road or is that the county involved in this?
The county road.
Yeah. Does it have to go to county planning then, or?
Yes.
So you did.
Yeah, and we should do a coordinated review.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. Maybe SHPO if there's any historic things around.
And DEC, as Teresa mentioned.
Uh-huh.
So I've got DEC, OPRHP, County DPW, and County Planning. Is there? There's no reason for County Department of Health to look at this, is there?
I think they get their piece of the apple when they, when we do the septics for each individual lot. But
Okay.
does the county, who would handle the road cuts, the road permits? That,
Oh, that's DPW, County DPW.
okay, okay.
And I'm sorry, I almost forgot. This is in the ag district, so we need to send out the ag data statement as well, Melissa, to the county and also to the surrounding farm operators. Mark, do you have the list of the surrounding farm operators?
No, but I'll try to make my way into the town office to take a quick peek to get the name of the adjoiners, to list that on the ag application form.
Great, great. We need to send it to, we need to send the application and the ag data statement to every farm operator within 500 feet.
Right.
So make it easy for Melissa.
Okay. So I guess we will meet again on this. Once we get
So
all.
given that we need to give everyone their window of opportunity to respond to a coordinated review, we're just looking to get that information out to them. So we're probably looking at a May meeting type of public hearing target at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you got all the information to the board within the, 5 days before the next meeting or whatever, I think that's what the deadline is, then we
Yeah,
can set
10.
a public hearing for the following.
Right,
would
yeah.
be May sometime, the third week.
Right, I'll add enough information to get the map to the point where it can then be sent out for the coordinated review, and then we can be ahead of the game with regard to their window of opportunity to respond to a request to a coordinated review. I think that normally need to give them 30 days. So I'll get something over to Melissa quickly so she'll have an updated map with some additional information to be able to send out with a review.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And Melissa,
Okay.
do you need anything else from those guys? You still
No.
there? I don't know where Melissa went. She disappeared.
I'm
from
right
me.
here.
You all set, Melissa? You think of anything else?
No. I think
Okay.
we're good. Thank you.
11 by 17 drawing.
I know.
Okay.
I'll get that too. So you know what the heck? I was
Okay.
guilty. I was guilty this time. It won't happen again.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. That sounds good. Then we'll wait to hear from you. We'll put you on the agenda under old business for our next meeting, and hopefully we get all our ducks in a row and we can proceed with the public hearing in May.
Yes. Yeah. I'll get. The real trick is getting enough information to Melissa so her mailing out for the coordinated review creates a long enough window for them to have their response. So.
Okay.
But well ahead of 10 days before the next meeting, I will have gotten information to her so that she can respond to the mailing needs of our coordinated review.
Okay.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, before we can have a public hearing, we'll have to do the determination of significance. So that makes it all the more important, Mark, that you get all that stuff to Melissa right away.
Yes. Yep. I understand.
Okay.
All righty. I will get this map with some additional info and some notes, and we'll talk to you again. Maybe by May they'll even be in-person meetings. Who knows?
I hope so. My computer died halfway through this one, so. Okay, Paul.
well.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next month. Okay.
Thank you.
Good enough. Okay. Okay. No sketch plan review. Minutes approval. February 18th planning board minutes. Does anyone have any comments on the minutes? Any changes, addenda? Omissions?
One comment, Jeff. Melissa, I think there's kind of 3 attachments or maybe 2 attachments to 1 reference. The first attachment, there's no page numbers on the letter, and it seems like, at least the copy I have, ends in the middle of a sentence or middle of a thought. So I'm wondering if the second page or the third page, I don't know how many pages are supposed to be to this letter, but it's missing. Or possibly missing. There's no signature on it. There's no page number, so it's hard to tell.
I don't have them in front of me, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So I guess I don't really know what you mean. So it might have been a front to back, maybe.
maybe a front to back, that's possible, but
Does
it's,
does it sound like that or?
It could be.
yes.
Yeah. and I see, it's actually,
What
we
if
don't
they're
know who it's
just out
from.
of or, it might be just out of order.
Oh, it could be out of order. You're right, Josh. Okay, like the third page, it goes after the first page.
Yeah, I think
That's
at
it.
least that,
Okay,
that would
all right, yeah, that
flow
makes
with,
sense.
yeah, that would flow more with the, the signature block at the bottom.
Yeah, good point, Josh. Okay, yep, I got you.
Okay.
All set? Okay.
So I guess make sure you sort them carefully when you put them on the web.
Poor Melissa, we're easily confused, Melissa.
Oh, you do something like that, it ruins our whole night. You can't figure it out. Luckily,
Better
Josh
to,
figured it out.
better to say something now than have our friend bring it up again, you know? Actually, I guess we could, approve. I would recommend a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I second that.
Okay.
That was Mike, not Tom.
That's Mike, that time.
So the only thing that I have to fix is the order of the attachments, is what you're saying?
The attachments, yes.
Okay.
I saw everything else look pretty good.
Okay. Check it. All right, so Jeff,
Yes.
Michael,
Yes.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes.
Under other, how do you want to deal with Lynn's comments on all those, lowercase j's that we didn't dot and stuff?
If I could address that, I
Yes,
mean,
please.
the minutes are posted to the website by the town clerk's office.
Okay.
And so they have been working with town board member John Ganther to address questions like date stamping and the rest. So I think we need to leave that in John's hands and the town clerk's office. In terms of attachments that maybe were not attached, but they were attached to the draft minutes. I think, we could look at going back and correcting that and adding the attachments. If they were hooked to the draft meeting minutes, that may be possible. Otherwise, it may be extremely difficult. And really, once you've approved the minutes and they're in the file of the town clerk, she stamps them received, each set of minutes. They're the official record of the town. So there's no rules about attaching attachments to the minutes. Some town boards do and planning boards do, some don't. I think going forward and certainly over the course of the past year, there's certainly been an attempt made to attach those both at the town board level and at the planning board level. So, all I can say is on the date stamping, we're going to need to leave that to a higher power, which is John. And on the attachments, to the extent we can attach things that are otherwise in the record, we can try to do that. Realistically speaking, it's only going to go back a year. And I'm hard pressed to say that you're obligated to post that on the website. It's certainly obligated to be kept in the town records. And I believe that all the public comments are kept in the town records, along with all the applications that people submit, right, Melissa? Melissa, you're unmuted.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and Dale, you're sitting there. I don't know what I'm thinking. You, you've been keeping records on behalf of the town for what, 25 years?
You know, not that long, but
Ah.
I thought it was 45. but
So when I do know that when we research and we have questions about what's been done before, we generally are able to find all the information, even when you go back to like the 80s and stuff when I was in college. So, you know, I do think the town's doing a good job of maintaining their records, and certainly when you compare what the town does to, say, the village or adjoining towns, your minutes are up there very quickly, and they're very comprehensive. So I know that there are always things that people can find that are wrong, but the effort ever since I started living here and working with the boards, and Jeff Siegel was the attorney before me, everybody has always attempted to follow the law and to make sure that we're as transparent as possible with documentation. So the web is a wonderful thing. I mean, when I started out, if you wanted a record, you had to walk over and get it. Now you can just go to the town website and find pretty much everything. I mean, you guys access the website. Do you have troubles finding things on the web? Mike?
yes,
Dale?
No.
Okay. I mean, Tom, do you ever look at the website? I'm just curious. Tom Rollison.
He's muted.
Very seldom.
Well, I know Josh and Mike do. I know Elizabeth
Yeah.
does. I
do.
get stuff all the time off of there. It's very useful.
Yeah.
I like how Melissa puts the Zoom information on the agenda, so it's always easy to find. And we have not had people complaining about being unable to participate in public hearings or, you know, get access. I mean, I think because your meetings are entirely Zoom, it is actually better than the town board meetings. People can actually hear you better, I think, than they can hear the town board sometimes, because they're half on Zoom and half in person.
So I don't think and I mean, Lynn pointed out all this stuff. I think just take it under advisement and say, okay, because to go back and do what the correction she made would take Melissa forever, and it would
It
be
would.
pretty unproductive, you know, kind of a waste of time, I think, but, you know.
Well, the question is, are the records at the town and are they available? And if they are, then you're doing your job. And
Yeah.
she's posting draft minutes and she's posting final minutes. And so is Brandy and Jen in the town clerk's office.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we're doing, as I understand it, is posting the recordings of the meetings as well, because that's the other thing that needs to be done under the open meetings law.
Okay. Yeah, okay. All right. So I think just, you know, we'll continue, and there's a few things Lynn brought up that we can correct in the future. Fine. If not, you know, I mean, Melissa does a great job on this stuff, and, you know, I wouldn't want her job.
no. Good job.
Yep. So, okay. With that, I think we can all go home. I guess we're already home. So,
You need a motion to adjourn.
Sarah, I bet Mike's in too. Mike.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
There you go.
Second it.
Yeah, and Tom seconds it. All right.
All right.
Good.
Mike,
Good work.
Mike,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
All right.
Liz,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
and Michael.
Yes.
Great.
Approved.
Okay. Be safe. Enjoy the warm weather that's coming up. I told somebody the other day I burned more firewood in the first 2 weeks of March than I did in December. So I was like, my God. So hopefully it get nice out, we'll get the boats out and go play for the summer, so. We'll see you
Night.
on tax day, you know? Okay.
Bye.
Good night.
All righty.
Bye all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.